Yes, we are good. I think we are live.
I see live.
Nice. I love it when things work out. Okay, so I'm going to record us and we will hop right in. Perfect. So everyone tuning in, we're still checking out, making sure we know what's going on here. I'm Dr. Jordan Leasure, the owner and physician of North Shore Proactive Health, a state-of-the-art wellness clinic in the northern Chicago suburbs. And with me today, I was trying to figure this out, like my longest standing friend, maybe longest standing friend that I still speak with, definitely.
Yeah.
Ms. Erin Snell. So Erin, I will let you, there's too much in your background for me to even start to begin to try to introduce you. So I will let you have the pleasure of that, fill everybody in on who you are, how we're here, and some of the wellness we're going to talk about today.
Sure. Yeah, thank you. So I'm Erin Snell, and Jordan, you and I have known each other since kindergarten.
I know.
Kindergarten. That was
a couple years ago.
A few years ago. And my CV is pretty long. And it's like, okay, where do I start here? First of all, I am coming to you from, it's like 8:20 at night in Salzburg, Austria. This is my adopted home. I've been living here for, I think it's been about 8 years now, which sounds absolutely crazy when I say it. But yeah, I've been an expat for 8 years. So I came over here at a time when I was singing opera professionally, which was, I know, it's exciting. It sounds very fancy, and it is pretty fancy and cool.
Fancy.
I mean, it does come with like a lot of perks, like gowns, and sometimes you even get to wear like fur and fun costumes and high heels and glamorous jewelry and big stages and stuff. So yeah, it's like if you imagined as like a toddler, what would be the really cool closest thing to like being a princess? I think maybe being an opera singer would sort of be pretty close. So I did that for a while, and it was really fun. And I do still sing, but that's not actually what I'm doing now. Other than the fact that because of what's happening in the world today, pretty much all live music is shut down anyway. So my poor opera singing friends are not even doing their jobs and careers. But yeah, so when I got here, I sort of I knew that it was going to take me a little while to find my way through, navigate the way through the opera world. So I sort of threw my arms wide open and I said, okay, universe, what do you have for me? And I knew I was coming here for life, not just for singing. And for me, that was really important. And I think that's what's allowed me to stay here and to stay happy for as long as I have, because I found new passions that I have. So, and these new passions have now kind of turned into the career that I have. I found my way into producing and directing for TV and for film and documentary and broadcast. And I jumped right into doing that, and it opened the door to kind of a whole different way that it was sort of scratching an itch that I realized that I had had for a really long time, and let my brain work in different ways than singing. And yeah, I just kind of kept following where that went and where it led me. And I've produced for PBS and the BBC and Arte and some stuff online. And then I got connected again with the startup world. And then it kind of brought me to where I am today, which is I'm the head of content for a brand new, it's a startup in Vienna, Austria. It's called Anima Mentis, and it is the world's first fitness center for the mind and the body. So that
That
is
is
sort of
spectacular.
nutshell. Yeah. So that's
That
kind
it
of,
is
that's
very
what I'm
cool.
doing. Thanks. Thanks. It was a winding road, but but it's each of the choices along the way have been very intentional. So, and I love my life here. It's, yeah. We've talked about this. I know you just talked about this in your last in your last video on happiness, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. Is that right?
Well, and it definitely, life is not meant to be, all smooth sailing and roses and sunshine. But I think that what helps all of us feel more satisfaction and feel that happiness is harnessing that responsibility and realizing that we are in control. And being in control doesn't, again, mean that the bus is always headed to Maui. There are some times that, that things aren't spectacular, but what do you do if you're not happy in that situation? You pivot, like you've done, and you are, if you are open to possibility and opportunity, then you see it. I think the problem is a lot of us don't see it, and we're stuck in a rut, or we're focused, on the negative or the muck.
Yeah.
Instead of being open to what you could do.
Absolutely. I mean, and I think that it also depends. So it depends on your circumstance in the moment, whether or not you have the flexibility of mind to kind of open up those blinders to see that there are things on all sides in your peripheral vision of ways that you could go. But it also, I think, has a lot to do with whatever you've sort of chosen. If you've chosen sort of a more traditional path to begin with, so music, not everyone would necessarily consider that the most traditional path, but in terms of the way that it's structured and what you are taught to do and taught to think, and what a goal looks like, what the end result looks like, that is so prescribed from early on in the process of learning music, and especially with singing, you sort of, there is no ladder. It's not like a corporate ladder, but there's at least, that, right, okay, if I do this means success. If I study with this teacher, if I go to this school, then I'm on the right path and I'm going in the right direction. And and we're taught to think, I'm not supposed to do anything else other than sing. All I'm supposed to do is sing. That is what makes me a singer. And let me tell you, that is bull. That is that's so limiting, and that doesn't take at all into consideration you as a whole person.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it neglects your other gifts.
Exactly. And we all have them. We might be given more gifts in one side or another, but if you're not taking a step back to kind of do that work and look inside and ask yourself, what is it that what really what gets me up in the morning? What is it that, how does my brain function best? If you're not asking yourself those questions, then you are going to keep those blinders on. You're going to keep the blinders on that somebody else has created for you.
Right.
So, and I it was my experience that stepping away, I actually had to sort of step away from the whole country to really, maybe not everyone has to get quite that drastic, but I took like the full on path.
I like that.
Yeah. It's like all in, right? So I took a full step back, and the reality is I realized that there are so many other ways to live life. And I've learned a lot from living in Europe. And I think that's something that I'm able to bring to my job now, where I'm kind of helping to develop mental strength experiences, and helping people to learn resilience and and relaxation, and how to combat anxiety and things like this, because I've taken that path. Like I had to figure it all out myself. So it's a lot easier for me now to be empathetic with people because I've been there.
Right. Yeah. How long were you in this position before everything was locked down?
In which position?
In the content development.
Oh, okay. So my job at Anima Mentis. So I came to them. The center opened in October of 2018, and I came on board pretty much right away as soon as it opened. First as a consultant, and then I came on board full time to help them develop that. So, yeah, and my goodness, things have changed. Whew.
So tell everybody, there's so many questions I have. I'm trying to step back. Tell everybody what that looks like as far as, brick and mortar content versus virtual content. And if they also had to pivot and, do more during this time.
Yeah,
virtually.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, what you said is yes, exactly. That's it. So Anima Mentis is a physical center, so it would be, it's quite huge. Actually, I can't even remember what this is in feet anymore, or square feet, but it's about 650. I know I've been gone way too long. 650 square meters in the first district of Vienna. So it's this beautiful flagship center, and super, super high tech. With like light therapy and an immersive, a 360 nature cinema with immersive audio and 360 video, and a room called Snoozalin, which is a whole thing that I could go into later, and VR and yoga and cycling, all sorts of cool things. And, of course, there's a lot of one-on-one contact with the customers that come in there, and you can't do that when you're right. in a global pandemic. So we had to shut down pretty much right away. So the 16th of March was the first day that we were shut, and we all went working. We started working from home. There is an app that we've developed, but the company is quite new still. So there were a lot of things, like you said, that everything kind of had to pivot, and we really had to rethink so many things about the offerings. Like we had to sort of take all this expertise and this knowledge, and instead of making it directed at a physical center with an add-on of an app, we had to completely go online immediately. And so we went from like 0 to 60 in no time, and we launched a podcast where we're every week now, video and audio podcast. We're doing we have seminars, online seminars, and we've got some other very cool things in the works, but I can't talk about everything right now. But one of the other things that I'm working on, though, that I'm very excited about is a meditation series, multilingual, because we're in Vienna, but we do reach a wider audience. So it's going to be in German and in English. And basically kind of teaching people how to meditate, how to start from scratch and learn the process to kind of calm your monkey mind, which is what we all need right now.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. What is the plan? Like, how are things in Austria? We were talking offline, Chicago, a lot of our viewers are in Chicago. They're, all over the country right now, but we are allegedly in place and through June. What are things like over there?
We went into pretty strict lockdown right away. Austria dealt with things quickly and decisively. So on the 16th, or it was sort of within that first week, we shut the borders So people were, I think that was a bit more gradual, but eventually, you know, nobody was allowed in unless you were a resident, and no one was really allowed out unless you had special reasons. You had I guess you would call it like a shelter in place sort of order. You were only supposed to go out just to get fresh air. I was really glad that they allowed us to at least do that. Yeah, there was, you were encouraged quite early to start wearing masks. Yeah, you basically had to stay at home. So really kind of quarantine, but we did it immediately and abruptly, and like that was it. So tough thing about Austria that's a little different from the US is that we don't have quite the same infrastructure of convenience that the US has, like all of the delivery services of groceries, and you know, one of our major grocery stores was having to pivot to online delivery during this. I mean, they had been doing it already, but it was kind of a newer thing that they were offering. And so this massive grocery chain had to figure out the logistics of home delivery throughout this whole thing. So that was pretty intense for them. We then slowly, so we were able to flatten the curve very early compared to a lot of other countries. We're obviously right next door to Italy, which is where, you know, the things are a bit scary and have been scary for a while. They wanted to make sure that we really contained everything quickly. So yeah, it was pretty stressful, but we flattened the curve early, and we have slowly been opening up. And now in like 3.5 hours, I think, something, 4 hours or something, our lockdown is being lifted. And yeah, so we're like on the big countdown. It's
Is it like New Year's Eve? Everybody's going to be like dancing in the street.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. We're really excited about it. We have been able to, so they reopened stores, but in chunks over time. So they opened small stores. I think it was 2 weeks ago, maybe it was 3. I don't know. I've like lost all track of time. And so you could go into stores that were only 400 square meters or less. And there was a mandatory mask order from the moment the stores opened. Grocery stores and pharmacies were always open, but every other store was closed. So you could not go do any other kinds of shopping, which was tough, but also good for the wallet also.
I know.
But yeah. Yeah, so we finally started to get to shop a little bit, and actually felt really good to be able to support some small businesses that had, you know, I know you've talked a lot about what it's like as a small business owner. It's tough all over the world. Yeah. So yeah, so large stores are opening. I mean, I guess officially on Saturday. Tomorrow's a national holiday for us, May Day. So as of next week, most things are going to be open, but they're going to have, you know, you have to keep a 2-meter distance and blah, blah, blah. So
that makes sense.
Yeah. So I've been actually really impressed with how everybody here has dealt with things.
So are you open yet, or you're going to be open next week?
We are not opening quite yet. We are waiting. Okay. We're not exactly sure, probably in June, we're thinking. But we've got to ramp back up to get ready. But we're definitely in touch with our current customers, and still developing a lot of stuff, a lot of the online content and things like that, so we can reach as many people as possible.
Yeah. And I like that. I mean, I like the virtual, and, you know, of course, some of it is the functional medicine that we do and some of the other offerings. And obviously we're in, you know, pretty deep in the wellness space. But for me, I have to tell you, and maybe it's just because one of my love languages is touch, but I do not see and maybe everybody, and it's sort of a dichotomy in our house because Will is so techie and I'm, you know what I'm saying? And I'm so touchy.
Yeah.
So he would rather it be like the Jetsons where everything is virtual and you don't have to, I don't want to say you don't have to see people, but literally like everything is done. We have a smart house. So I say Alexa, or I shouldn't even say, turn on the lights or turn off the lights or do this or do that. And everything happens. But I do not see all of these wellness offerings being a replacement for a lot of the in-person services that are offered. I mean, I think online yoga is great. For me, I want to be in a class. I want that energy. I want that feeling, the same with what you guys are doing from what I understand. But now I've got to fly out and see it firsthand. Maybe that's
yes, you do. Yes, you do. Hopefully there will be more Momentous centers eventually, but
but I do. I love that concept. So talk a little bit about like you're doing the meditation programming, but what is something that you can like teach everybody while they're, while we have them virtually, that they could be integrating to give them almost a little taste of what they could experience. Maybe we'll just all take a field trip to Austria.
Yeah, yes, everyone come to Austria. Or
we'll have our next retreat.
Yeah, actually, that would be brilliant. You really should. I'll set you up. Go follow my Instagram. I post gorgeous pictures of Austria all the time anyway. And that's the cool thing about my job, is that I kind of got to take my love of sort of these beautiful nature images and kind of turn it into a job. Don't tell anybody. I don't know how I managed that, but it's awesome. So one of the things that so let me back up for 1 second. I have been doing meditation myself for quite a while. It's something that I started exploring several years ago, and I'm really glad that it's becoming sort of part of the mainstream. And it's neat, the work that we're doing at Momentous, because we're trying to take it out of the kind of woo-woo guru thing. This is not like Wild Wild Country, if anybody watched that on Netflix. This is really like the science behind why Achtsamkeit is what I want to say, which is the German word, mindfulness. Mindfulness training is a huge component of everything that we do at Momentous. It's a lot of the stuff that we're doing research on, and that can go anything from like, while you're washing the dishes, make sure that you're actually paying attention to how the water feels on your hands, what the soap bubbles smell like, what does it sound like when the water is running into the basin, or if you're just throwing things into the dishwasher, which I also do. But it's like taking that moment in time to just be where you are, because as soon as we're getting removed, or as soon as our minds are getting removed from the present moment, you are so much more easily sucked in, and you can sort of spin out, and you become uncentered, and that's when we start to go into reactive mode, which is something that we don't want. We want to be as calm and proactive as possible. So proactive.
She's on commission. She's getting $5 every time she mentions it.
I've got my list of words here that Jordan gave me before. No, it's just like we're actually on the same page about this, which is it's great, and that's why like I've loved to follow the progression of things that you guys have been doing at North Shore Proactive Health, and it's cool to kind of bounce these ideas. We talk offline about this kind of stuff all the time, but it's really nice to know that you guys are doing something that is also a really big deal here in Europe, and it's nice. We're developing.
I like that, and being mindful we aren't, like, as a society, especially at least over here, we're not, we're always trying to do more. I think you're doing this and you're checking your phone, or you're, have your to-do list going on. And that was my one thing. I had started, and I'm still not, I wouldn't consider myself a great meditator. And I'm sure that you'll talk to this, because there are different types of meditation and you find what works for you. But for me, I had always done yoga or seen yoga, let's say, as a workout, even the practice, seen it as a workout. And when I was pregnant with Parker, I started doing a lot more of it. And maybe it was becoming a mom or being pregnant or whatever it was, but I started, I don't want to say like getting into like the spirituality of it, but more getting into the actual practice of yoga and being mindful. And it's gonna like make me cry. So the thing that resonated with me the most was, I would be on my mat and I would be in, tree pose, and I'm got my shopping list going in my head. Okay, that is not being mindful.
Right.
And your guide or your teacher, would say, the phrase, at least when I was doing it, was come back to your mat. And so that was my like centering. So all throughout labor, I was very deliberate in what my expectations were for labor, how I wanted Parker born. I did not want interventions. I did not want medication. I didn't want, any outside things. If I could have had him like in the forest, like that would have been, sort of my jam right there. But Will and I met in the middle, and we did a birth center. So I had some other people there. But anyway, when I was having times like that of distraction or of extreme pain, I would literally say to myself, come back to your mat. And that was my mantra. And obviously I wasn't on a mat, but it was my mantra. And that helped me to be mindful and remember what I was doing and why I was doing it, and to be in that moment. So I think it's finding what's best for everybody.
That's right. And the important thing is finding what works for you. So, meditation might not be your thing, and that's okay. But maybe listening to Led Zeppelin or AC/DC, maybe like that's your thing. Maybe that is what gets you back in your right frame of mind. And there's science that tells us that there are certain things about music that sort of activates your brain in certain ways, and there are things about meditation that calms you down, but we all have personal preferences that are woven into this, and you can't, whatever we do. So at Anima Mentis, or this is sort of what I have learned over this life that I've been living, you've got to start where you are. You can't start where the goal is. If you're starting there, then you're missing all the steps in between. And the important thing is you're gonna fall. You're gonna find yourself in labor where you're in extreme pain, and but if you didn't know the steps of how to get yourself back to this place of calm and control, then, or this place of peace, then you can't help yourself, and you're the one who's going to be helping yourself in your regular life anyway. So one of the things that I do, and I teach, is box breathing. Have you guys talked about box breathing at all?
I don't know.
So this
like
is
like a box.
Yeah, exactly, like a box. Breathing and breath work is something that I learned for years and years and years and years as a singer, and it's foundational for us. But it's pretty much. But you've got to breathe to live. So it's also pretty foundational for all of us, and it's something that is automatic, but it's also something that we can control. And when you can harness the power of your breath, it calms down your autonomic nervous system, and again, going back to that monkey mind thing, it sort of gets you out of the spinning out monkey mind and gets you back into the present moment. So when I find myself in another crazy time or stressed out, or if I'm feeling like I'm here, there, and everywhere, and like my brain is scattered, I'll often do this box breathing. So you're essentially going to you can start with 4. 4 is good. 4 is easy, and you're going to breathe in for a count of 4, hold it for a count of 4, breathe out for a count of 4, and hold that for a count of 4. So that's why they call it a box. So it's the same on all the sides. You can, once you get a little bit better at it, you can do it for a little bit longer. You can make it around.
Erin's doing 10, 10, 10, and 10.
I mean, I have some years of practice, and I sing Wagner. So, you know, it's like, yeah, I better be able to do 10. But awesome. So I will teach you. Would you like to do it with me?
Yes.
Okay. So first important thing, if you're sitting, make sure your feet are flat on the floor. You want to feel really grounded with your sit bones on the chair. So you want to feel the weight of your whole body on the chair. You want to feel the floor supporting your feet, and tilt your pelvis forward and back a little bit till you feel like it's in a natural, well supported spinal position. Miss Jordan, Dr. Jordan Leasure. Another $5 for me right here. And the same with your head, back and forth until you get it. So you're all kind of nicely aligned up and down. Now you can close your eyes. And we're going to go in through our nose. We're going to do all of this in and out through our nose. So follow me, and we're going to start with in for count of 4, hold for count of 4, out for count of 4, and hold that for count of 4. So ready, and in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Again, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Good. And now just breathe normally.
Are you doing the audio on these? Because it's spectacular. You should if you're not. If you're only doing programming, they're missing out.
No, I am actually. I'm also doing, yes, audio. I'm the English voice. Yeah,
that's good.
So yeah, so that's just a little trick you can take away, and hopefully, even if you're not sitting comfortably in a chair, it's something you can do when, you know, your toddler is running around screaming at you, and and instead of getting reactive, which we're all prone to do, just take a moment and breathe, and go back into your proactive mode.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, so that I can link, you can email me and I'll put the links on the conversation so everybody can find you and find the center. Is there sort of like an assessment? How do you guys determine what opportunities are best suited for people? Or is it like a la carte and you get to pick what you think would be good?
So that is an excellent question. Yes, and in fact, so this goes back to the whole fact that everything that we do at Anima Mentis is based on published research and experts and evidence. And so, you know, we have a whole team of psychologists who have helped to create the program that we have. And they work with the university researchers also to kind of gather published studies and data and papers and things like this to do all of the different experiences that we have. But to start out with, like you asked, we do a mental fitness check. so the MFC. So they, you know, if you are coming in, and mind you, this is meant as preventative. This is not meant like once you're in a clinical, like, you know, you need, that's like more than you're farther on down the line. But no, this is really meant for like for you and for me and for people who just need a little bit of help to figure out their own brains a little bit. So, you know, I would come to Anima Mentis, I would meet with one psychologist. She would be my Begleiter. It's my German and English like mixing. She would sort of be the person to oversee your whole
like your guide.
Your guide. Thank you. Yeah. So so they would do a very personal mental fitness check with you, and we're really also huge on data privacy too. So all the things that you share within that time is kept extremely confidential, and then they create a whole path for you to help you reach your goals. And so that might mean light therapy, where we have different color of light, and we have bright light. So bright light's against depression. It's really good against seasonal affect disorder. And then we have special playlists that will also help you with either sort of relaxing you or activating your senses. And there's also scent involved in there too. So we get, also limbic system. And, or maybe, you know, maybe you need a more chill out thing. So then we have relaxation yoga. We also have cycling. They're, like I said, the 360-degree nature cinema.
I like that.
Yeah, which is, oh,
we have a naked baby in here. What?
Are you done?
No.
Hi,
Parker.
Parker.
Okay. Scram. Okay, sweetie, I love you.
That was adorable.
Why he's naked at 2:00 in the afternoon, I have no idea, but that's what happens during quarantine.
Why wouldn't you be? Come on, like, he doesn't have any Zoom calls to go to.
If I would be, I could be. You're right.
Exactly.
Could be, I would be.
Oh my God, brilliant, so good. Yeah. So basically, they create a path for you, and you come in. It's like going to a fitness center,
Right.
but it's a gym for your mind and for your body. And it's there are also seminars and coachings, one-on-one coachings, and all sorts of things. And so and we're moving. We
That's
also
awesome.
we combine a lot of this also with tech and testing, and we're doing you know, I get to work with some of the cutting edge content technologies like immersive audio, and I'm working with the people who are actually creating Dolby Atmos and creating immersive audio for not just cinemas, but for home use, and trying to figure out how that can parlay into the wellness space, and and beautiful videos and things like that. So it's exciting.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, obviously we should wrap it up since I have someone running rampant through the house.
I love, you know, it makes me happy because this is real life. This is what happens. You as a doctor are also home. So, you know, we roll. I saw patients this morning, and now you and I are doing this, and I'll be blogging this afternoon while, fingers crossed, somebody is napping. So that's what the day looks like over here. But I'm excited to hear that you will be set free in a
matter of hours.
Oh my gosh, me too. I am so happy. Although I will say that in Austria, like this is not the worst place to be quarantined because it's kind of a gorgeous country. And I do live in like one of the most beautiful cities in the world. I know, so don't feel too bad for me. So my walks, have not just been around the cul-de-sac. It's been like down the Salzach River and like
Right.
I've been on my road bike again, like riding up into the mountains. And yeah,
That's awesome.
terrible. Yeah,
that's awesome.
But-
Well, so thank you for joining us. And those of you that are watching, if you have questions for Erin or if you have more questions on everything that they do, feel free to leave her a message and she will check it out. She will answer your questions. And almost done.
Hi, Parker.
Almost done, sweetie. So we will answer the questions as they come up.
Yes.
And feel free to get a hold of Erin, contact her directly if there's any way that she can be of service. And I love you. Thank you for giving your time. I miss you.
I was about to say the same thing. I miss you. This is so nice that we get to
I know, we
this.
got to do this for fun.
Yeah.
Since we don't see each other.
We do. A little virtual happy hour. I think it's time. Yep.
I like it. Well, cool. So we will see you all, and tomorrow, Friday, here. And Erin, feel free to participate over there.
It's your anniversary. Yeah. I'll wear white tomorrow for you.
I love it. Thank you, ma'am. Cool. Well, everybody be well, and we will see you next time. Have a great night.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Okay, I'm pausing our recording. Let's see if I can get to Facebook. I don't even know. There's so much going on. We'll see. A little bit of everything. Okay.
What are all of these noises in the back? These like bling bling noises.
It's everything. It's my phone. It's my computer. I've got like 18 things happening at once.
I think we're still live on Facebook.
I know. I'm still trying to end. Well, let's see. We'll end meeting. If I lose you, I'll call you back.
Okay.